and greetings, everyone. Greetings. My name is Greta, and on behalf of OPIT, Open Institute of Technology, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the inauguration of the 2025-2026 academic year. So it is my pleasure to see our community gathered today. So we have current students, alumni, professors, and of course, the many new students beginning this journey with us this September. So today's event is about talking about what marks the start of what promises to be another very exciting year of learning, innovation, and growth. And I'm going to introduce you to our distinguished speakers. We have Professor Profumo, OPIT Rector and former Italian Minister of Education. We have Dr. Rosanne Cuschieri. She is the CEO of MFHEA. Unfortunately, she cannot join today, so she will be sharing her contribution through a video message. Then we have Giorgio Tacchia, Managing Director at Globant, a global leader in consulting, innovation, and technology. Our students, Ryan Beckham from the US, Obi Orowago from Nigeria, and Irene De Nevi from Italy, and they will share their personal testimonies. And then we have Professor Alexiei Dingli, Professor of AI at the University of Malta and entrepreneur. And finally, our founder, OPIT founder, Riccardo Cleppo. So thank you all. And without any further ado, I would like to start and leave the floor to Professor Profumo for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Greta. Ladies and gentlemen, dear students, faculty, and friends of OPIT. As I look at you today, I see something extraordinary, a global community from 98 different countries with diverse backgrounds and languages, that it's here not only to study, but to build a piece of the future all together. This is the true image of OPIT, a borderless classroom, a global laboratory of ideas and talent. It's a great pleasure to welcome you as we inaugurate the 2025-2026 academic year of the Open Institute of Technology. This moment invites us to reflect on what we have achieved together, and even more importantly, to look ahead with courage and vision. This year has been a milestone in OPIT young history. In March, we celebrate our very first graduation ceremony with the first students of the Master of Science in Applied Data Science and Artificial Intelligence receiving their degrees. It was a proud moment, from welcoming our first applicants only 3 years ago to celebrating graduates now prepared to shape a society. Our community is growing stronger and more diverse. This year, we welcome about 300 new students from 98 nationalities, alongside faculty from 34 countries. You are creating a unique ecosystem. Many of you are working students, and I know this requires sacrifice, late nights, busy weekends. Others come directly from previous studies. All of you, however, will benefit from the prevailing culture of this community, a culture of commitment, curiosity, and collaboration. Over the past month, we have strengthened the foundation of your journey. Today, we already count 15 corporate partners and dozens of capstone projects. In the months ahead, this network will expand further so that every OPIT student can rely on real opportunities and a direct link to the job market. One major innovation is the OPIT AI Copilot, developed in-house and trained on our own courses. It is not designed to replace, but to enhance your learning, and the support provided by our tutor and professor. It will be gradually introduced step by step, becoming a daily tool to improve teaching and learning. We are expanding our career services, dedicated coaching, a growing alumni network, and for the first time, an OPIT Career Fair in late 2025. We want your academic journey to be matched with professional opportunities from the very beginning. All of this is grounded in our continuous effort to improve teaching quality, guided by your feedback. Your voice is our compass. It allows us to refine our programs so that excellence is not a destination, but a standard we raise every day. At the same time, we must recognize the global context around us. The rapid adoption of generative AI, where many projects fail to meet expectations. The growing threat of cybersecurity incidents, the uncertainty of geopolitical tensions. Every technological wave carries both risk and opportunities. More than ever, education must provide the awareness and responsibility to navigate them. This is precisely what OPIT exists. In times of disruption, education is the most reliable compass. The fourth industrial revolution is not only reshaping industries, it is redefining how we live, work, and learn. Professions will disappear, new ones will emerge, and all will transform. The linear model of education belongs to the past. The future is circular. You will return to learning again and again. OPIT aims to be your lifelong companion on this journey. Dear student, today you are entering a world that needs your curiosity, your skills, and your resilience more than ever. We will do everything we can to support you, offering high-quality education, innovative tools, strong ties with the companies, and the global community that will remain part of you long after graduation. And let me conclude with a thought that I hope will stay with you throughout this new year. From today, you are not only OPIT students, you are pioneers of a new way of experiences how higher education in the age of artificial intelligence and global transformation. Welcome to OPIT, and welcome to the future we built together.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor, for your words. And I hope everybody is inspired by those, because we're very happy to welcome all our students. And now we will hear from Dr. Rose Cuschieri, the CEO of MFHEA, the Maltese Accreditation Authority. She couldn't be with us today live, so she kindly recorded a message for our community. She has been a strong supporter of OPIT since the very beginning, so let's listen to her video address.
Good afternoon, OPIT community, management, faculty members, students, and partners. I'm Rose Cuschieri, CEO of the Malta Further and Higher Education Authority. It's an immense pleasure to reconnect with you today as we mark another chapter in OPIT's exciting journey. I still remember our first meeting in Malta back in 2022 with Riccardo and Professor Profumo. What was then just the spark of a bold, inclusive vision has, in only 3 years, flourished into an institution where learners from nearly 100 countries come together to place their aspirations on solid foundations. This is truly inspiring. The OPIT model is an excellent example of the kind of innovation that modern higher education needs: rigorous, global, and flexible. It is designed for those who work, who study cross borders, or who simply cannot follow the traditional campus path. I personally view OPIT as a potential benchmark for quality online education, not only here in Malta, but across Europe and beyond. From the very beginning, OPIT has worked hand in hand with MFHEA to make sure its programs meet the highest standards of quality assurance. And we remain fully committed to guiding and supporting OPIT in meeting regulatory expectations and building a learning environment that students and employers can trust. Let me also reaffirm MFHEA's ongoing commitment. We continuously refine the National Quality Assurance Framework, aligned with European standards and guidelines, to raise the bar for Maltese higher education institutions. Our work is also closely connected with the wider European quality community, where Malta has an active voice and continues to contribute to strengthening trust and recognition across borders. This dialogue ensures that students in Maltese institutions like OPIT benefit from a system that is continuously benchmarked against international best practices. It is equally important to underline that Maltese education, under MFHEA's oversight, is embedded in the Malta Qualifications Framework, itself referenced to the European Qualifications Framework. This guarantees that your qualifications are recognized, transparent, and valued throughout Europe. As we look ahead to the coming academic year, let me express my heartfelt best wishes. May it be a year of bold ideas, collaborative learning, and meaningful achievement. I have no doubt that OPIT will continue not just to teach, but to lead. Congratulations and all the very best for the next academic year. Thank you.
So just moving on, it's now my pleasure to welcome Giorgio Tacchia, Managing Director at Globant. Giorgio brings an extraordinary perspective on the intersection of business, technology, and innovation, and he will share his insights on the mega trends shaping industries today. Welcome, Giorgio.
Thank you very much. So first of all, hi everyone. I'm really happy to be here, and a great pleasure to be part of this, let's say, a round table with the honor to be here with Mr. Profumo and my friend Riccardo, trying to support him in this journey that is, let's say, as an entrepreneur, I can imagine, let's say, you know, how it's tough to create this big, let's say, dreams in this country. So I'm really happy to be here with you. And at the same time, I'm a bit nervous, guys, because at the end you have no idea how much I'd love to be on the other side of the table, because that means that for at least I have, let's say, 20 years younger. So my name is Giorgio Tacchia. Let's say maybe before starting to share with you some macro dynamics, let me start by sharing a little bit of my background, so you know where I came from and let's say what I did and what I'm doing with technology and strategy. So if I have to sum up my journey, I've always worked at the intersection between technology, media, and business strategy. So I started my career in the late 90s in telco. So I've been one of the first, let's say, manager of Fastweb. Now a leading company in telco in Italy, just bought Vodafone, creating probably the first player in telco in Italy. And at that time, internet, let's say, was at the beginning. So in some way, we put in place, we wrote the rules that was not written yet. And again, trying to extract as much possible value from a technology, trying to, let's say, improve the quality of life of our clients and our audience. Then I had, let's say, a windows of my career as an entrepreneur. I founded the company, or let's say, we scaled it up to 60 million clients around Europe, attracting major studios that invest in our company and active in streaming and data. And then I sold my company to a global player. The name is Globant. It's a listed company in New York Stock Exchange, really active into the, let's say, technology area. And again, I'm, let's say, supporting Globant in, let's say, leading the media, sport, and entertainment globally. And that's my career. So if let's say, I have to start trying to give you some advice how to, let's say, act, I think that we need to think on us, on you, not like a technology supplier or developers. I think you have to think to become, let's say, become a business enabler. So not just think how deploy new tools or let's say platforms to your client, to your potential new partners, but trying to position yourself as a player, trying to help organization to rethink their strategies, open new revenue streams, and let's say potentially transform their relationship with clients and customers. So this is, I think, one important, let's say, tip. So we are in a moment where globally the big organizations are trying to, let's say, reshape their own skin, moving from B2B to B2C. For example, one of my big clients, but it's just an example or partner, is FIFA. So, and think about the entertainment and football. So all the main organizations are trying to change their skin from B2B players, so reselling rights to TV and networks or IPs, or let's say through sponsorship, trying to monetize their own, let's say, intellectual properties, to B2C. That means start interacting directly with the end user, creating a first-party data, so put at the center of their business clients, so transform what was a fan base into a client base to multiply the avenue of monetization of their own audience. So this kind of, let's say, approach is a radical market shift where the skin of the companies that their employees need to change completely. And in this area, let's say, new professional skills are needed. And in particular, again, I suggest to interpret your activity not like a consultant or a developer, but as a sort of real mission, as a business enabler. So that's my, let's say, suggestion. What does it mean? It means that you need to help the organization grow in revenues, reduce cost, improve at the end the return of investment of the, let's say, of the activity, of the product, of the platform you are going to support, you are going to deploy for your, let's say, client. Again, you need to think about you as yourself as partner in the transformation. This is the mindset that will make you stand out inside of the organization. In this, let's say, area, for sure, new tools or new instruments like AI, for sure, it will become at the center of the strategy. And AI will help not just, let's say, to reduce cost and then improve the redundant activities, introducing agent of the agentic approach, but AI will help to personalize the experience, to predict what fans will want, to, let's say, to completely change the approach with the end user. And it requires strategic thinking, governance, compliance, and collaboration across departments. So the most important part is not the technology, but is the workflow and how the man that will remain in the loop will coordinate and will set up the full ecosystem. And for sure, in this, let's say, when big data comes, big responsibilities will arrive. So at the end, cybersecurity and priorities related to cybersecurity will change completely, let's say, the weight and investment related. So that's the let's say the new in some way approach. In the past, probably in the last few years, the AI introduction was mainly let's say related to cost reduction. It was a sort of defensive approach coming from new technologies. Now, today in particular, let's say AI has a complete different shape. It's more offensive. That means it is at the center of the growth path. And thanks to personalization, customer engagement, product innovation, at the end, main companies are looking from AI and generative AI instruments as a sort of growth engine. So, and again, if we are talking about growth, at the end, the main discussion are mainly driven by CEO, CBO, Chief Strategy Officer. So the mindset and people that they need are more, let's say, strategic. So for sure, a sort of technical knowledge is needed. So it's no longer an option, so an optional. So we need to understand and let's say manage this kind of technology in deep. But if even CEO today talk about data, cloud, and AI fluently, at the end there is an opportunity to discuss with this kind of leadership strategic discussion and how to, let's say, enlarge our business. So again, I suggest you to not just be technical, but more interested, open, and expert into the business. So at the end, what I can suggest you, so which kind of skills I suggest to, let's say, cultivate. First, deep technical expertise. So you need for sure to be expert of the new, let's say, trends, AI, data, cybersecurity, software engineer, and let's say improve your knowledge in deep about, let's say, this kind of technology. Second, cross-disciplinary thinking. So you need to be translator of technology and then become business enabler. And then I suggest you a specialization in business. So at the end, you need to understand what is more close to your, let's say, need or interest, or let's say your capabilities, and being more specialized into a vertical business understanding. So think about finance, media, travel, healthcare. But in any case, the new world is more specialized. So the CEO are looking for, let's say, someone with a deep knowledge on technology, but also expertise in vertical and business strictly related to their own audience, their own client base, and the needs of their client. Then, for sure, human skills, due to the fact that strategizing more and more your approach, at the end, you need to improve and learn how about communicate, the storytelling, your empathy. So at the end, let's say, I strongly suggest to deeply cultivate this soft skill, and finally adaptability. So at the end, this is a very, let's say, quick word, and we need to adapt ourselves and our positioning, go to market and strategy quite, let's say, a lot. So these 5 skills, I think, are the most one to be cultivated. So just to wrap up a little bit, so the future again is not just new technology or inventing new technology. I think is about to adapting them, scaling them, and then turning them into a business impact. So I suggest to focus yourself into bridge tech into business, and then not just represent, let's say, excellent professionals, but through partners in this transformation. And I'm sure a lot of opportunities will arise, and we will find you again into very relevant table.
Thank you so much, Giorgio. Thank you for those very valuable insights and tips for our students. But now since at OPIT, our students are at the center of everything we do, We will now hear from three of them, and who will share their experiences, what brought them to OPIT, and their plans for the future. So we have Ryan Beckham from the United States, who began with the Bachelor in Computer Science and now is moving to the Master of Science in Applied Data Science and AI. Then we will hear from Irene De Nevi from Italy, a student in the Master of Science in Responsible Artificial Intelligence. And finally, from Obiora Wogu from Nigeria, now located in China for a moment, a student in the Master of Science in Cybersecurity. So Ryan, would you like to start?
Certainly. So my name is Ryan Beckham, and I am actually a continuing student here. I just received my bachelor's degree and moving on into the master's program, as Greta just said. I'm a little bit different. I'm an atypical student. I've got over 25 years of experience in the IT world. And for me, I kind of give you some background here. I started doing media and website developments for Fortune 500 pharmaceutical companies. So I used to work for Eli Lilly and Pharmacy and Upjohn, which is now Pfizer. I worked on things like Depo-Provera, Ameripex, and those things. So I started programming at the very beginning. Websites, I built beautiful things. And then I kind of got into the hardware side of things. So I became more of an IT manager. I went that route. Servers, networking, anything you could think of. And then I got back into programming again, back about 10 years or so ago, with C++ and kind of, evolving into Python. And, my recent position was as an environmental engineering director. I worked for a company that, basically does these Superfund cleanups around the world. And we have one there in Montana that we're taking care of. And so I came at this as, I'm getting back into programming and developing this digital solutions side for our company. I want to make sure that I've got the most up-to-date, background in education. To tell you the truth, I didn't really think I was going to learn a lot because, I've had a lot of experience in these things. But, with OPIT and kind of getting into it, and it was my ultimate, choice. It seemed simple. It seemed easy. It was online. You could access it any time. They've got the synchronous and asynchronous classes, which really did help a lot. But as soon as I started classes, I understood the quality right away. It kind of for me, it's the professors that really set this organization apart. Unlike most universities like University of Montana or Cornell and those places, the professor is generally purely academic. They don't have a lot of real world experience. They've been teaching for 20, 30 years. They tell you what it should be like. And so when you look at the professors from OPIT, not only do they have the academic background, they have the actual work background, the experiences that they bring to the table that you just don't see across the board. And it gives us an advantage that's not only, they're not teaching us what's just theoretical, they actually have the real world experience to really back that up. And they tell us now in the real world, it's not quite that simple. And then they give us their experience backgrounds, which I think is outstanding, honestly. And most of the time, that really clicked with me more than anything else. I understood the academic side of things. I understood the mathematics. I understood how to, program and do stuff. But what I didn't understand was, how can I utilize this in my organization? How can I utilize this in, the processes that I want to do going forward? The other part, I think, with the professors and even the staff here everybody here is so friendly and great, and they put up with my sense of humor. I make jokes all the time, and they still laugh, which I appreciate. But it's really the level of success that the professors want you to have. It's not like you're going into a class of 200 people and they don't know who you are. They know who you are by name. They're friendly, and they don't have a problem if you contact them outside the classroom and say, "Hey, I need help with this," and they have great tutors as well. I actually reached out to quite a bit in the last few terms because there's some stuff that I was running into that I couldn't get around, and I needed to have some fresh perspectives. And honestly, it was second to none. They were outstanding across the board. So. As far as everything else goes, I mean, like I said, I'm an atypical student. You'll probably learn more of the stuff and, take it to heart quickly. I adjusted and just made it about what I could use with it and then the business aspect of it. But I do want to touch on one thing here real quick that not a lot of people talk about, but the degree, as the other speaker indicated, is obviously, present and licensed throughout all of Europe. And in the United States, it was a little different, but it is actually absolutely accepted anywhere. In fact, I used my OPIT degree. I had to get it certified through like another organization like WES or something to go to Cornell. So I was accepted to Cornell. So I'll be starting a master's degree there next year, as well as the Louisiana State University. I'll be starting a master's program there next year as well. And they actually liked my OPIT degree over everything else because they were so impressed with things like the ethics of AI, right? You know, not a lot of organizations right now teach the ethics of AI. They say they teach AI, but they don't tell you when and how you should use it, or where the guidelines are, or where the real, you know, tunnel vision is for these things. But they went through it very carefully with me, and it was accepted in the whole process, which helped me get accepted as well. So if you're a US student, this is an amazing degree. It'll open up a ton of doors for you, but it also will give you the professional background and experience that you need to actually succeed in general. So it is something where you get out of it what you put into it, just like anything else in the world. You know, if it's tough, you know, there's resources you can access right away and get more information on from the staff as well as the tutors. But in essence, it's whatever you want to accomplish, you will, which is why I'm continuing on the master's degree. And if they ever offer a PhD degree, I'll be here as well. So sorry, I talked too long. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. Yes, definitely. Like PhD is down the road, so we wait for you. Thank you so much. And now maybe Irene, would you like to continue with your testimony?
Yeah, of course. So, hi everyone. My name is Irene, and I actually graduated in physics back in 2022, but right after that, I started working as a full-time developer, and because I was really drawn to the world of programming while I was studying at university. So after a while, though, the desire to study came back stronger than ever. So I wanted to pursue a master's degree in computer science, of course, but it had to be flexible and more important, compatible with my job. And of course, the curricula must be connected to the real world and job market. So I attended various open days in Milan universities and also in various online universities, but none of them truly convinced me. So that is until I discovered this university, thanks to a post from Data Pizza, which is an Italian enterprise that is making a huge impact in tech field here in Italy. And I still remember the call with Greta because I continuously ask her so many questions like, are the lessons really asynchronous? Can I really work while writing my thesis? Can I do at my current company? And the answer was always yes. So a year later, I can say I would make the same choice because the master in responsible AI, for example, has a very good quality. The professor are knowledgeable and, most important, approachable. And OPIT is really built around students. And that makes all the difference. And right now I'm working on my thesis with one of the professors on my course, Professor Aliata, on AI integration for the digital twin of Bergamo airport. And I know that once this chapter is over, many opportunities will come because this university has given me solid foundations, both technical and practical, of course. So, balancing work and study isn't the easiest things to do, but OPIT makes it possible. It gives you the possibility to do so, and that's a precious thing because in our field, like in many others, continuous learning will always be a key part of our journey. So, best luck to all of you starting today. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Irene. And I don't recall the call, but my questions
Yeah,
are
because you
always
have so
welcome.
many, yeah, so
But
many calls, but I
no, no.
remember because you were very assuring on you can do both things.
Okay, thank you so much. And finally, Obiora from Nigeria is based in China, so his connection is a little bit unsteady. So I don't know if he can give some remarks, or otherwise we'll catch him up later once he reconnects. Ah, here he is. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to stay in a well-lit place. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, I was in a dinner. Just coming back online. Okay. Thank you very much. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate everyone who has joined or who is just joining the OPIT course. For me, it was a transformative experience for me. I had the opportunity of discussing this OPIT MSc with my mentor, and okay, first, let me introduce myself. I'm Obiora Wogu. I've been in the financial and fintech space for the past 16, 17 years. Yeah. So over the course of my career, I've also garnered a lot of cybersecurity certification. I also have an MBA and other some short courses I've done across schools around the world. So when the issue of an MSc in cybersecurity came up, I was like, maybe I should just do it just to tick the box, yeah, because I felt I won't really find any value for it because I already have major cybersecurity certification needed in my industry. But the funny thing was, when I joined, I found that it was an eye opener for me. Some of the things I already knew, I got to learn the basics. Why this thing is so, and I got to interact with people across the world. My classmates are from several countries, and most of them are my very close friends now. People I met during the course, and they are also very bringing brilliant perspective in the class. So for me, I'd like to encourage everyone who is joining this course, leverage this collaboration, because in class you are free to challenge every idea. You are free to ask questions. The professors, the facilitators are people who have both academic and real life experience. Is is a beautiful thing when you in class and the prof is talking about something you are experiencing currently in your job, and is giving you insight on how to handle those things. So this is not the normal academic experience anyone goes for when they are doing their MSc. You're going for an experience that is quite enriching because you're learning with people that are doing it, that have done it, and can give you guidelines on how to become more strategic in your work and also leverage the collaborative environment OPIT has provided. So for me, I want to say welcome, and let us maximize this opportunity, and we'll all be good for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Obiora. I know it was a stretch because he was traveling. So thank you for joining. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, Irene, for sharing your journey with us and with the future students. Now it is my pleasure to welcome Professor Alexiei Dingli. He's full professor of AI at the University of Malta and a successful entrepreneur. And he has been a pioneer in artificial intelligence research and innovation. So thanks, Professor Dingli, for joining us.
So thank you, Greta. Hi, Profumo, Ricardo, and above all students, good afternoon. I'm Alexiei Dingli. I'm a professor at the University of Malta. I also run an AI company called Digital Brain, which means I spend most days at the point where ideas must become outcomes and talk must turn into delivery. Let me set the tone clearly. You shouldn't look at this course as just a degree. It is an opportunity, a community, and your launchpad to greater things. If you treat it as a coursework, you will collect credits. If you treat it as a launchpad, you will open doors you did not know that they existed. People often imagine I spend my life writing code. The truth is I rarely have the luxury. Between university, the company, and a fair number of other responsibilities, I mostly guide teams, remove obstacles, and make sure what we build actually matters. Yet when my engineers are stuck, I enjoy the challenge. And if I have to be honest with you, this long weekend was one of those moments. We need a strong speech-to-text system for Maltese. Maltese, as you might know, is a low-resource language, so good training data is scarce, and progress is very slow. Imagine the current state of the art was trained on roughly 150 hours of transcribed audio. Just to put you into perspective, the Google models are trained on 117,000 hours of English, so the difference is very staggering. So some weeks ago, I had an idea that might break the bottleneck, and a few days ago, I sat by the pool with a drink, opened the laptop, and got to work. 3 days later, with focused engineering, relentless iteration, and the smart use of AI tools, we trained a much stronger version of a Maltese speech-to-text system using about 1,000 hours of Maltese audio. So I now have the largest state-of-the-art model for Maltese worldwide. Same island, small team, larger ambition, measurable improvement. The lesson, of course, is not to code during weekends. I'm not suggesting that. The lesson is that meaningful leaps happen when you take a problem, give it full attention, dream of a solution, and implement it and measure the outcomes. That is the pattern I want for you. Imagine your capstone project did not end with a PDF. Choose a case which is small enough to test ideas quickly and credible enough that when something works, it can travel across Europe. OPIT is offering you this on a golden plate, and it's right in front of you. Here is a simple way to think about your work. Start with a problem, trust your gut, and prototype fast. AI is your friend to help you create your first minimum viable product. Test small, ship, and let results speak on their own. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you're probably launching it too late. For those of you who are ending their journey with OPIT, you've earned your experience the hard way, so use it. This is your time to turn what you know into real influence, your curiosity into leadership, and your projects into work that gets noticed. The opportunities you create now will keep opening doors for you. For those in the middle of the journey, you're in the arena, doing the work. Pick challenges that matter to people. Let focus be your advantage and keep moving forward. Small actions create ripples. Ripples grow into waves. And every time your work reaches the world, your voice gets stronger. And for those just joining, be curious. Ask clear questions. Try things. Show your work. Learn fast. You're not here to sit on the sideline. You are not a spectator, but a performer in this new AI landscape. This OPIT community is both your launchpad and your safety net. OPIT gives you leverage to do this well, a growing network of partners that want pilots, career support that helps you translate results into opportunities, an AI Copilot that reduces busy work so you can spend more time on judgment. Use these advantages. They are here so that your ideas can move quickly and responsibly into the hands of real people. Once again, I reiterate, your capstone is not a PDF, it is a key. It can unlock internships, research, ventures, and tangible civic impact. Treat this opportunity as your living lab, OPIT as your launchpad, and the world as your horizon. Do not waste this by creating a toy project. Instead, build something that matters. Start with something small and real. Prove it works, measure your results, and share them. Let your success speak for you. Even the smallest spark can grow into a wildfire under the right conditions. And thanks to OPIT, you have those conditions now. So the stage is set, the tools are in your hands, and the doors are waiting. Now just go and open them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexiei. Thank you. When you started talking about the capstone project, which is the last part, that's very important for everybody. So in the end, we will get there. And that's very relevant what you said. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Riccardo Cleppo, founder of OPIT. So Riccardo had the vision to create this institution that combines rigor, innovation, and accessibility. And today, 3 years later, OPIT is home to students from nearly 100 countries. So Riccardo will share his reflection about this journey and developments and his vision for the future.
Yes, thank you everyone for being here today. It's a great pleasure. It's the third time we kick off an academic year at OPIT. So it's always very exciting. You know, I'm Italian, so it's kind of like the new football season. The energy is high, the expectations are even higher, and we all can't wait to see what's coming up next. So you've heard about some numbers by the other panelists, and definitely they tell a story of success so far. And we've worked very hard, and watching them materialize is incredibly rewarding. But I believe that numbers just tell a part of the story. Another great measure of success for us is actually the learning community that we're building. So one of our students from Nigeria, for example, recently wrote, "OPIT is the first time I felt an online school was not just about content, but about people." And I'm very glad that both Ryan and Irene and Obiora brought it up. So there is a real community, and I really suggest you fully exploit this community, their backgrounds, their professional stories, because this provides an intangible asset on top of the hard skills that you will learn throughout the program. So I think it's clear that the world around us is moving fast. Generative AI is definitely leading the wave of innovation, and it's also more definitely dominating all media outlets and all online conversation. But I want to tell you something. So the vast majority of companies today are still halfway through the previous wave of digital transformation. I'm talking about the adoption of cloud computing, the implementation of new business models, the upgrade of old IT infrastructures, the step up of internal competencies and skills. And I'm pretty sure that many of you working for companies of any size know what I'm talking about. And these are just some of the reasons why I wanted to briefly discuss with you about something more personal, which is freedom. From my own personal experience, technical studies represent a direct pathway to the privilege of choosing the future you want to build and live. But you know what we've been all hearing in the last few years. AI will do all the programming, knowing how to code will soon be irrelevant. AI systems will soon be building softwares better than any human engineer, or even digital strategies will be fully optimized by AI and no digital marketing manager will be needed anymore. So isn't this what we hear more and more today? One thing that I can tell you is that nobody really knows what is going to happen, if millions of jobs will be displaced, or if a machine and when it will be really able to build great software architectures. The tech world, and that's a thing I know for sure, is a roller coaster. So one day a 25-year-old AI engineer receives a 100 million contract from Meta, and the very next day, Meta itself freezes all its AI investments. One thing I'm sure of, though, is that your technical skills will be and are your foundation to freedom. If you want to launch a startup, knowing how to build a product by yourself will make you fast and cost-effective, from writing the first line of code, to marketing it properly, to manipulating data through AI algorithms. I've done it myself, and I know for sure that if you know how to do these things, you will be able to launch much faster and with a lot less cost than anyone else. But and the same thing goes on for big companies, but with a big difference. So if you work for big companies instead of building your own, you will also need to learn how to bring other stakeholders on board. Now, let's talk for a second about cybersecurity. It was briefly touched by Giorgio and Obiora, of course. To me, a real senior cybersecurity expert is someone who can secure adequate investments and put them into work before problems happen. So you won't actually see his work because it prevents cyber attacks to happen. But in reality, data breaches, ransomware attacks, they still happen. And if they do, of course, that's a time of panic. But this is also the time in which a person who knows what to do becomes an invaluable asset. Your knowledge will not just prevent future disasters. It will make you the go-to person in an emergency, making you more valuable than ever. Well, data science and AI, I will just skip the part about what it means today being an expert in data science and AI. I'm just going to tell you that it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure you know. And finally, since I consider myself a product builder even more than an entrepreneur, I'll give you one more tip. If you want to build products today, you need a broader perspective. Giorgio was saying that it isn't just about coding, about cybersecurity, about AI. It's also about understanding marketing, financials, how to raise money, how to build and lead teams. And this holistic view, combined with strong soft skills, is what will set you apart. So keep that in mind if you dream of building new solutions in any context. It is not about being insulated from change, it's about being prepared to navigate it. And the skills you acquire at OPIT will not just get you a job. Again, they will give you freedom. Freedom to decide what you want to do and achieve in your professional life, freedom to start your own venture, freedom to switch careers when new opportunities arise, freedom to become the leader who helps shape the future instead of just reacting to it. This is the ultimate promise of the education that we offer. However, I must warn you, it will not be easy, and it's not for everyone. Most of you have jobs, families to take care of, and a personal life to live. Throughout this academic year, as it will happen in life, you will need consistency, perseverance, and patience to navigate the ups and downs of the bold choice you made to level up yourself. For that, you can definitely count on the support of our team, of the professors, of the tutors, and of course, most of all, of your colleagues. But ultimately, it will be upon you. Our roadmap for the next year is just as ambitious and exciting as it was for the past 3. In 2026, for example, Ryan, if you're still listening, we will launch OPIT's online PhD, which will be designed for professionals who want to push the boundaries of applied research in AI without leaving their careers. In spring 2026, alongside the graduation event, we will also host our first in-person bootcamp, which will be a chance for students, faculty, and partners to gather, learn, and build face-to-face. And of course, much more. So yes, the road ahead is challenging, but as Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, reminds us, smart people focus on the right things. At OPIT, that's what we try to deliver. Clarity on what matters, relevance in a noisy world, and the confidence that every skill that you will learn has a real impact. To all of you, students, faculty, and partners, thank you for being part of this journey. Welcome to OPIT, and welcome to your future.
Thank you, Riccardo. Thank you so much. And to officially close today's event, I'm pleased to return the floor to Professor Profumo for his final remarks.
Thank you so much for this very nice event. It was with a contribution of different actors that we have, first of all, the students, but also people that are working for OPIT. In the meantime, this is an official ceremony. And after the other speech, I have to conclude with an official declaration. Then I hereby declare the academic year 2025-2026 of the Open Institute of Technology officially open. Thank you so much, and have a very, very nice year of study. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And on behalf of OPIT, I want to thank again our distinguished speakers for sharing their insights, and of course to all the audience. Thank you for joining us and for being such an important part of this journey. So we look forward to this academic year ahead. Goodbye, everybody, and take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
bye.
everyone.